Welcome to Pitch Boxing with me, Martin Theobald, and joined by former English middleweight champion, undefeated pro, Linus Udofia. How you doing, Linus?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah, I am blinding, thank you. I'm very, very well. And we've got you on because there's a bit of a theme around middleweights ongoing that's kind of come up over the last few weeks, but we'll come on to that in a little while. Let's catch up with where you are in your career. I say former English title holder. You're now next in line to fight for the British. Been ordered against Danny Dignam, who's got a fight coming up against Grant Dennis. Purse bids are coming up in January. How are you? Are you relaxed about it all? Okay about it all?
Yeah, I don't know. You need to. Thank you for having me on, by the way.
Pleasure.
You need to with boxing. You need to realize a lot of things won't just happen like that. I've been in boxing a long time now,
and you're learning.
To realize to realize a lot of things won't just happen like that. So you just learn to roll, literally, with no pun intended, but roll with the punches and kind of just as it happens, and things like that. So I'm very relaxed about all of it. I'm very nonchalant about it, and I don't really care. I'm ambivalent towards it. I don't really, do you know what I mean? Grant Dennis, I think they'll have their own thing to sort out or whatever. They have their own fight to contest for. I'm not sure the logistics and the actual legalities of being able to do a purse bid when you reschedule a fight. I'm not sure about that side. I'm not. Manager does all that side. But right now I'm getting ready for February, March, and I'm getting ready for the next couple of months because if something comes my way or if this doesn't happen, and something comes my way for it to actually because I don't really care about the opponent. I just care about the actual title. So. If the opportunity pops up that I can actually compete for it, and sooner rather than later against someone else, then that's something that it possibly will happen. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's a waiting game. I'm very patient. Me and everyone, the team, we're all patient. We're just going to see how it all plays out, really.
Yeah, and you say you're relaxed and nonchalant. I don't think you could look any more relaxed and nonchalant, hanging out in your dressing gown.
On a Thursday afternoon. I've just woken up.
Are you in training camp?
Well, I am. Yeah, we just started actually. Funny enough, we just started right after Christmas, and we've been in now. We've been in maybe just about a week now. Last day tomorrow, but it's hurt. It hurts already. It bloody hurts already.
Get that Christmas weight off, man.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but it's pretty good. Back in now. Back into the swing of things, and you're ready to go again. It's time to go again.
So I'm guessing there's a chance you might end up taking a fight before you fight for the British, by the sounds of it, if purse bids don't happen or someone pulls out, perhaps. There's a chance you could end up fighting someone else in the meantime before that British comes around.
I mean, there's always a chance of that. There's always a chance because when other people have got their, hands tied up in other things while you're trying to plan something with them and things like that. It's just always a chance. It can happen, but right now we're just going to see what happens on the 12th, and what happens, what bids go in and things like that, and who actually puts a bid in and things like that, and we just have to go from there. But right now we're not really thinking about it next move until that's done, until the purse bids are we have an idea of what's going on. But yeah, it's always a possibility. There's always a possibility depending on what happens with the purse bids,
I know your manager, Steve Goodwin, well enough to know that there'll be 3 or 4 different potential outcomes that he's working on. It won't just be one singular.
Yeah, of course. You have to ensure yourself. You always have to give yourself the best possible situations and routes and things like that. That's what he's really good at. He's really good at ensuring. I've always said that. He's always really good at ensuring you. So no matter what happens to you in the outcome, he's always making sure it's the best possible for you. He's always making sure that it's, there's a few outcomes depending on what route you take. So he's very good at that. He does a really, really good job in that respect. Yeah,
and a little bit more about you. I mean, Steve's guided you to 17-0 now in your career, 9 knockouts. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm like a library of Linus Udofia information. And so, yeah, I mean, the British titles, the next fight potentially. How awesome is that? Because I've known you for, I don't know, 5-6 years now. And like going back to that point, I said to people at the time, that lad, he wins a British at least. Now you're in that position. How cool is that? Like as a fighter to potentially get that Lonsdale belt.
Yeah, obviously, when you all start, you all have like you all have your stepping stones, you all have your goals. You can't when you start, everyone wants to be a world champion, but sometimes you have to look at it at where you're at and kind of just make your goals from there, jump up to have an area. Okay, let me get to 5-0 at least. Let me have some fights. Let me sell these tickets. Let me, everyone has their goals. And we always said it. We always think, the minimum is British, but you don't want to think too far ahead because you forget about now, and it's amazing to actually have worked. When I look back and I say, oh, I've had 17 fights, and you're like, well, where did they come from? Where did you have? I don't even remember half of these fights, when you had all these fights and then you're going for a big title and things like that. And now that thing you spoke about 6-7 years ago or however long ago, I always said it was a dream. Like imagine winning a British, it's the most beautiful belt in boxing. Like that would be amazing to lift a British and things like that. And now that's a massive possibility now. And I'm sitting there, I'm sitting right there looking at it and, just, it only takes a few things. And next thing you know, that's a reality. It's happened. So it's nice. It's nice to be in this situation and in this position now and have worked this long to, it's quite nice. When I look back, it's nice. It's very warming.
Yeah, and I think I've been to maybe 13, 14 of your 17 fights, and I've seen that progression firsthand. And I know you're ready, and I know you're in a position to go on and fight for that title now. But it's lovely to see. It's lovely to see the growth that you've done. It always stands out when I interviewed you right at the beginning of your career and asked how far can you go as a boxer? And I think your answer was how tall can a tree grow? Nobody knows. So that stood out. Like it's quite a thoughtful answer for a boxer. So you offer an awful lot that people need to get on board with, man.
I appreciate that. I can't remember saying that, but I do remember it now when you said it.
Yeah, no, it stood out to me as one of the best lines I've ever heard in an interview that I've done. Anyway, so yeah, you signed to Wasserman as well. So there's a place on a Sky card waiting for you. Yeah,
it's a very good team to be with. Sauerland brothers and Wasserman boxing, and it's just they've been ever since I signed with them. They've been nothing but absolutely fantastic to work with. Always looked after me. Always made sure I just treated you right. Treated you like any company that, in their eyes, have an asset should. So yeah, it's been wonderful working on them. They're so hands on. They're so interactive with you. They really do their job. And I'm fortunate to be part of that roster.
Yeah, and I don't think it's always appreciated how big Wasserman are. Like, because they're not huge in boxing, they are huge elsewhere. Like as a football agency, for instance, they've got huge clients. They used to handle George Groves as well, didn't they? And they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Let's go on then. So, as a boxer, what do you make of the board's decision to postpone the sport for all of January? I mean, not that there was a lot lined up other than Williams Eubank has kind of been moved back a week, but how does that sit with you? What do you make of it?
Oh, I didn't actually look at the circular. So, do you have any idea what the reasons were for the postponement?
No. Well, I can't remember exactly what the wording of it was, but it's just that it's postponed. I think reading between the lines, you would have to assume it's, protect the NHS, don't take doctors away from places that they could be better used right now. I think the counter argument to all of that is that no other sport has done it. So football needs doctors on hand, and there's more football matches going on a Saturday afternoon than there are boxing events. Rugby matches need doctors on hand. They're carrying on. I think the criticism around the boxing side of it is almost playing to the audience a little bit of postponing it. I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I think it's probably quite sensible, given there isn't an awful lot scheduled for the month anyway.
I think it's the sensible thing in that respect. It's, like you said, as there isn't much going on, you want to follow suit. Our sport is coming to a lot of like flat lately and things like that. So I think the board postponing you know, everything happening for about a month is probably the sensible thing to do. It looks good PR wise. It makes sense to kind of follow suit now and then carry on as normal. So there's no backlash. Oh, why didn't you close down? Why didn't you close up shop? Why didn't you, you know? So there's no question, you know. So I understand. I get that. I don't really feel any different towards it. Nothing on my end got cancelled, so I never really felt anything for it. I never felt anything. Yeah. I thought there was going to be a break anyway with boxing coming up to New Year, so I didn't, unless it was like American boxing. But other than that, I don't know. I don't really think it's not really made any waves, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
it's fair enough. They're protecting themselves.
I think if in 6 months' time someone says, "Oh, you know, how's boxing still going?" the board can turn around and say, "Well, we did cancel a month's worth at the worst time of the pandemic as it was kind of arriving." So I think it's a sensible thing to do. It's a good look, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's a good look. That's what I mean. It's like it's a good look, and that's it. Gets ensure themselves coming under any flack. But yeah, realistically, it's all for a good look, and if it does the job, it does the job.
Good look with minimal damage. But the one that it does move on is Liam Williams against Chris Eubank, which was meant to be back end of January. He's now been moved to February the 5th. Your weight division. We're going to come on to Chris Eubank and your potential involvement with him not so long back. But first of all, the fight, Williams versus Eubank. What do you make of it? Who wins?
I'm not sure. I really don't know. I always it's a really good fight. Both really good operators, and I think realistically, Chris Eubank's added some things to his game with working under Roy Jones. So I'll give him the edge to an extent because I think he's added some things. He can change some things up in his game. I'm giving him the edge here.
I agree he's changed things, but do you think for the better? Because I'm not convinced.
Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. I always think when it comes to like when you add something to your game, let's say if you're a fighter and you add the boxing element to your game, you can do the boxing element. But when things get rough, you always revert back to what you know, and that's the fighting. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think it's good to add it into his game, and if he needs it, he can pull out the fighting. Don't be wrong, his last fight wasn't the most exciting and things like that, but I don't think adding this to his game has been a detriment, to be honest. I think I'm not going to say he's lost his killer instinct because I always think, when you revert back to type, I think it's there, but I just think now that he's added this, he's done the most he can to suppress it, to suppress that and kind of be a clever boxer and things like that, which, he's developing every time he gets in the ring. The Liam Williams side, I think the only problem I see is his last fight against Andrade. He gave a good account of himself. I didn't really see the whole Dominic Ingle effect on him. I didn't really see it. I didn't really see the whole switch hitting and the whole clever boxing. I kind of just saw someone that kind of walked forward and couldn't really land on Andrade. And you got a box. At the same time, this move to Adam Booth, I'm not, I think a move is close to such a big fight. I don't know. That's the only thing that doesn't give me confidence. That's literally the only thing that doesn't give me confidence in that, on that side of it. I was meant to be sparring him actually before this last fight got cancelled, but he hasn't actually hit us up. All
right, so we better talk nicely about him.
Yeah. Nicely. I'll speak honest. I think it's a really good fight. I think it's a really close one, but if you really want me to split hairs here, I'm going to give the edge to Eubank just because he's more established with the whole training side of it, and he hasn't had any hiccups with his immediate life in the sense of obviously taking into respect what happened to his brother and things like that. He hasn't had to change trainer. He hasn't had to change his training regime dramatically. Even though he has added something else to his arsenal. With Liam Williams, he's had to change his whole setup. He's now training in London instead of Sheffield and things like that. And with all the things that comes with a new trainer, a new very diversified trainer, where Dominic Ingle was very. He's not Adam Booth, is what I'm trying to say. They're completely different styles. They're completely different styles. And I just think, mate, is it too much, too close? Is it maybe if you'd done that a year ago and now we're here, I could have said, yeah, you know what, this is I have no worries in the back of my head. Now, I don't know. I think it's a bit close. I think that's the only place I'm unsure.
I'm going to break some of that down from my end. So the whole Eubank Roy Jones thing, I find that fascinating because watching his last couple of fights, it's almost felt like watching Roy Jones in like a fight night game, whereby it's someone trying to be Roy Jones, or like if there was a film about Roy Jones, Eubank would be really good for it because he boxes a little bit like Roy Jones when he pulls those moves off. But it's not Roy Jones, and Roy Jones.
It's not Roy Jones. Yeah,
once in a lifetime. So
you'll never get someone like that again.
So is it almost dangerous to try and implement everything Roy Jones could do as an athlete into a 31-year-old, 32-year-old, however old he is, Chris Eubank, who, as you say, his
incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, his skill set, his main strength, I guess, is his rawness and his
engine. His engine is ferocious, his spitefulness, like he was all of the things his dad had, he had, except for maybe the one punch night ending, career ending punch, that's the only thing he didn't have. And I think it's very dangerous to experiment with that, take that away, suppress that for a second, and then add this imitation Roy Jones. I think, it is dangerous, but I think there is nothing wrong with adding another string to your bow, in my opinion.
And as much as I say it kind of, to me, he's almost looked worse because of what he's trying to implement under Roy Jones. Actually, he's maybe had another 6 months or so to go away and implement that in the gym, and we haven't seen it. And, maybe as much as it may have been detrimental for a couple of fights, maybe longer term, it does make him a better fighter, and it does add different parts to his skill set, which it's all the more fascinating because then we go back to Liam Williams, as you say, moving from Ingle to Adam Booth after the Andrade fight. Another one, Liam Williams isn't young. He's not new to the sport. He's been around. He's been around for many years. And now, is he too long in the tooth to implement what Adam Booth would try and do, perhaps as a style? He's got to unlearn some of the Ingle stuff and put it into an Adam Booth style. It's a fascinating one, but ultimately both men are kind of renowned for coming forward, and it can't be anything other than a great fight, surely. It's going to be
100%.
It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a great fight. I think both will try and box each other and do what they're being taught to do. At the end of the day, I think it's such a big fight. It's such a big fight domestically and things like that. Egos will show up, and people are going to revert back to what they know.
Yeah, come round 5, round 6, and neither of
and to be honest, I don't hate them for it. I want to see that. I want to see them too throw hell for leather. I want to see it. I want to see that. Like, obviously, I appreciate good boxing when I see it, but I want to see Williams and Eubank go toe to toe. That'd be good to see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, as much as if I were paying £100 for a ticket, I didn't manage to get a ticket, unfortunately. But if I were, I'd be paying that £100 for the moment when they both stand, they plant their feet, and they just chug.
I will sort you out with that because I'm pretty sure Wassman are getting me some ringsides.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, call me when they do. I will.
I will call you. Don't worry. I'm going to go there. You're going to come with me. Don't worry about it.
Oh, beautiful.
So if we're going to, talk about picking sides, I'm not really picking sides. I just think the winner of the fight would be. I just edge it. I just edge it to Eubank.
Yeah, I'm the same.
What about you?
I couldn't justify it, but I would edge it to Eubank.
Yeah.
Williams has boxed a better opponent in the past, better level in Andrade, and come up short.
Yeah, but then again, you say that, but George Groves, Billy Joe Saunders.
You
know what I mean?
I can't. Not that I discount Billy Joe because they were both so early in their career.
Domestic, yeah.
And Billy Joe went on to do more after that. Groves, he was at the tail end of his career, and you're right. Actually, to be fair,
I think the George Groves that fought Eubank was a more dangerous George Groves and the Andrade that fought Williams.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
In my opinion. But that's no disrespect to Williams. I think Williams has, fought good opposition. Yeah. And I think they've both kind of, to an extent, found their level.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I just can't wait for it. I think February the 5th, the fact that it's being shown on Standard Sky as well, rather than box office, I think that adds so much.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be a huge event. I hope it's a huge event because both lads deserve it. And both lads, are going to absolutely put it on the line for the evening. I can't wait to see it. And it's going to be spiteful as well. It's going to be spiteful. That build-up's going to be spiteful. It'll be
100%.
But I'll be honest.
Very spiteful.
I'm a self-confessed Eubank fan, so I have to live with that. You nearly boxed him, right? When you fought Julio Venosi on your Wasserman debut, and Eubank was meant to be headlining it against, and I can't remember the name of the opponent. That opponent fell through at 24 hours notice. You were on the undercard. Who got the phone call? You.
Yeah.
How close? Well, I know the answer anyway, but how close was it to happening?
Close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough. It was a yes away, not from us, but a yes away from tomorrow. You're fighting Eubank.
Yeah, if certain people had signed certain bits of paperwork, then it would have happened.
Yeah.
But
it would have happened. It would have happened. No problem.
What was your initial reaction? So you get a phone call 24 hours before you're due to fight on an undercard, and actually it's a phone call saying, "Do you want to box Chris Eubank tomorrow night?" What was your reaction to it?
I was like, first of all, how many zeros past the combo am I going to get? And secondly, let's do it in a heartbeat. Let's go.
But you'd have had no apprehension, no fear. Yes.
Nah. Listen, I trained for it. With all due respect to Eubank and his training and the lot, I had trained for a title fight. I'd trained for it anyway. So it's not like I would have been. It's not like I was doing a 4-rounder and all of a sudden doing a 10 or 12. Yeah, that wasn't the case. I'm ready for a 12-rounder. I was ready. It's just, if anything, I wasn't mentally ready for the opponent. But it like Steve and Terry. Me and Terry said the same thing. We were like, yeah, we do that as long as it's worth it. We'll do that. Obviously, Steve was like, okay, this is where he comes in and he goes, no, we'll do it on these conditions and this and this and this and this. Let's not all get excited.
Have some sober thinking.
Yeah, let's have some.
You lot are all
let's have some structure. Yeah. And so we did that. He put some things across, and things never got signed. And that's in my opinion the only reason I didn't happen.
Yeah, but you were that close.
Everything was a yes. Huh?
You were that close to fighting Eubank at 24 hours notice.
So close. So close.
Are you regretful that it didn't happen?
No, I think I have another thing with boxing as well. There's going to be a lot of things like that because can I be regretful of something that wasn't meant to happen that didn't happen? Can I be regretful? Not really. Yeah, not really. But at the same time, it's there's loads of things like that. I had things like that in Haymaker stuff with Haymaker. Like when I was with Haymaker, like the things like that happened all the time. And there's loads of. Like I was meant to. They tried to give me Jamie Cox.
Yeah.
Years ago, with Haymaker on like
the O2
the day before. Yeah, day before. And things like that, and I guess it didn't work out. I think, and loads of things like that. But yeah, my point is, like, you can't. I don't know. I get it. I think opportunities like that, their eyes, and you're on their radar. They thought about you at one point. They're gonna do it again. So the opportunity is gonna come again. No, it's not like I'm in my late 30s and things like that. So I'm not gonna worry about opportunities not coming. I know they're gonna come. I know I'm good enough. I know, like. I know I'm good enough for these things to happen. I know these things, so I'm not really worried about opportunities coming and passing. They weren't for me, so it didn't happen.
Yeah. The other one coming up, February 19th, Calm Brook. What's your thoughts? Is it too late? Is it still relevant? Is it worthwhile?
You know what? It is. It always is going to be too late. Yeah, let's not joke around. It's 5 years too late.
It's been too late for 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean I won't be watching. It doesn't mean I might not even make a trip. Do you know what I mean? I will still watch this fight because I am genuinely interested in it. I'm not interested in it. Like, I was interested in 5 years ago. I was interested to see who was the best in that division and in domestically as well. Now I'm interested to see who's got the longest left. Do you know what I mean? It's not, you know what I mean? It kind of just says, okay, if Amir Khan smokes Kell Brook, okay, Amir Khan can move on and actually still keep going. Like, if Kell Brook smokes Amir Khan, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he found his level. Amir Khan's just that guy that will always be in a big fight and he'll always get paid dough for it. That's what we know him for. He's a journeyman prize fighter now, almost. Not when I say journeyman as well, I don't mean what the journeyman we know. I mean like the gatekeeper, the person that we know is good enough, but you can beat him. Do you know what I mean? You can beat him.
He's only ever been beaten by top fighters outside of the
top fighters.
Bradis Prescott at the beginning of his career. We'll kind of overlook that. You know, as he's matured as a fighter, he's only been beaten by very, very good fighters. But I mean, even if they both went and retired on the Sunday after the fight, the only thing that matters about this fight is which one can do their after dinner speeches for the next 20 years and have bragging rights over the other one. That's what it's bragging rights. Isn't it?
That's all it is. It's just bragging rights now. It's, you know what? It is what it is. It's the right time, I guess, in that sense. But, you know, it is too late. But I will be watching, and I think the whole country should be watching as well because it's a classic. It's an old classic. Do you know what I mean? It's
bragging rights, but I'm 100% here for it, and I will be tuned in that night, and I will keep my diary clear. And it, you know, Williams versus Eubank is two lads at their prime, pretty much. You'd suspect, kind of 31 years old. These are two lads that have taken a lot of hard fights over the years. They've seen better days. I don't care. I do not care. I am tuned in. I'm
100% there for it. You know what I mean? It's like we can't really doubt their resumes. What they've been, Kell Brooks fought Sean Porter, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Triple G. Do you know what I mean? Look, them four names alone say a lot. And then you got Amir Khan. He's fought Canelo Alvarez. He's fought Marcus Maidana. Terence Crawford, he's you name it. He's fought a lot of them. They're fought, and Canelo as well. They fought. Their resumes are just there's nothing you can say about their resumes. They've done their rounds. They fought who you know what I mean. They fought everyone to kind of keep their legacy good. Yeah, so no one can say, oh, you didn't fight anyone. You know, they've done all that. Now it's just, if anything, it's always been left to just fight each other.
Yeah, and they've done it all, and I don't begrudge them a final payday because they've both given so much to the sport in the UK. Yeah. Amir Khan's legacy coming out of the Olympics, you know, part of the GB setup is funded through the money based upon Amir Khan's success as an amateur and Audley Harrison's and those the success of GB boxing. I'm not saying it's solely down to Amir Khan's meddling, but there is an element of that. And
he's helped it massively.
Yeah, and to that end, you know, Kell Brook's given us many years of entertainment, many big nights. We'll all remember that Triple G fight being announced and the madness around it. If they both get one last payday, cool, absolutely fine with that. And if it's on pay-per-view, I'll probably even pay for it, which is most unlike me.
Yeah. But you know what? You know what it is? When you look at that and you say that, 100%, I'll probably pay for it because I paid for worse. I've paid for Chisora Usyk. Yeah, I paid for Chisora Usyk. I've paid for Groves Froch, but that was never a problem. I paid for the first one, and was that pay-per-view?
Yes, it was, I think.
Yeah, I paid for the first one, and I was at the second one, and Tony Bellew cleverly too. I want my money back still. And that's why I don't like Tony Bellew. I want my money back. I still want money back.
That's why you didn't sign in Matchroom, innit? So until you give me the refund on that, I'm not
doing it. Give me my 1999 back. But we're gonna.
I'll chip in.
I'll 100% pay for Brooke Khan. I'll 100% pay for Brooke Khan.
It almost feels like we're crowdfunding a retirement fund for him, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I don't even know if it is pay-per-view, to be honest. I haven't checked. But
no, I think it's on. I think it's just on Sky, isn't it?
that's mad if it is. That's really mad. But
I mean, I think it's good though. I think it's good to, you know what I mean? Like with boxing, this is why people only know certain fighters in this country, because it's been such a pay-per-view thing. People only know like pay-per-view stars or pay-per-view fighters because that's why no one knew Usyk, because Usyk was never broadcasted like AJ was. And everyone was like, yeah, AJ fucking wipes him out. AJ does this. And I'm thinking, listen, I don't think you know. I don't think you understand what's going to happen here. Everyone around me said to me, AJ will wipe Usyk out. Usyk is a small guy. He's all right. But, you know, he's just, you know, he's not the same. And I went, and he goes, just because he trains with Lomachenko. And I went, no. This guy has beaten everyone. This guy has done it. He has been slapping everyone about for so long. The only reason everyone knew Usyk was because they did Tony Bellew and Usyk on pay-per-view. Everyone started to know Usyk then. Everyone knew who he was then. And they went, yeah, but Tony Bellew was done then. And you're like, well, okay. And then everyone around me was like, yeah, AJ's going to smack. And I went, listen, AJ probably is going to get stopped. He's probably going to get stopped late. Everyone was like, you're taking a piss. I went, listen, Usyk is going to ping his head about. And if AJ's got the conditioning for it, he'll get through the fight. But I'm telling you, he may get stopped. And everyone, I mean, I said it to everyone. I said it to loads of people that actually knew the boxing and, you know, knew things, that they got it. But the people that didn't were so surprised when it all happened. And they went, I can't believe AJ lost. And I went, I can. Yeah. I bloody can, because Usyk is a very good operator. Good operator.
Of course, man. Of course.
But so going back to my point, I'm glad that it's probably not on pay-per-view, and the whole pay-per-view thing is not really, to an extent, much of a thing as it used to be, you know?
Do you know, it's amazing. If it doesn't go on pay-per-view, that's amazing. And an amazing opportunity for every fighter on that undercard. Because if it isn't on pay-per-view, you're going to have millions potentially watching it. It's got that Sky machine behind it. It's a Saturday night audience. No doubt they'll line up a football match beforehand to run into it. For every fighter on that undercard, it would just be an incredible opportunity. And Sky are doing that thing of building up like unheard of fighters almost. Yeah. Like trying to naturally progress them rather than signing too many superstars. Yes, they've signed Eubank. Yes, they've signed Linus Udofia. But outside of that, there aren't too many other superstars. So what an opportunity for everyone there. So either way, like it's going to draw big numbers. It's a huge fight still.
Yeah, no, it is a huge fight, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised that it's happening, but I'm pleasantly surprised it's happening. Yeah. You know, let's forget about the whole it's too late or whatever, but let's just be happy that it's happening, you know?
Yeah, we've got to park that now and accept that it's happening and get on with it.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Right. Well, that's it, I think. So next up for you is purse bids coming out next week. So people keep an eye on what goes on with that. And then hopefully see you in the ring February, March time, and then maybe again May time. But it all depends on what the outcome is of next week, I guess. So
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But where can people find you, Linus, on social media?
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Linus_Udofia. That's about it.
Let's give a shout out to your sponsors while we're here as well, because I can name some of them. Otawol, who do the fencing, D&I Butchers down in Luton,
and JB Developments, Luton Townmate sponsor and a development and dry lining company.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's because you're a man who makes posts about his sponsors and why people should follow them, and so therefore I know about them, right? So anyone else out there, learn from this man.
No, I appreciate that. You always said that. I remember what it is. You and you know that Terry, what's his name? The fucking
Terry Chapandama.
I'm not gonna say what I was about to say. Terry. You were talking about something and you were like, what do boxers need to do more? And you said a bunch of stuff, but the one that really stuck with me was like, you said you went on a rant and you were like, I can't believe that boxers, like, you never see posts about sponsors. You never see it. You only see it when they either sign one or renew a contract with them. And these sponsors are the reason that boxers are able to be boxers. And you went on a rant for like 15 minutes. And I remember I took it personally because I was like, do you know what? He's right. And that's why I'm taking it personally, because he's right. I'm sitting here doing whatever and I'm getting X amount a month from these people that just believe in me. That's it. So what's the least I can do? Make a post a few months. Do something. Be creative. Me and my butchers, yeah. In a couple of weeks, we've got an absolute skit coming, yeah. So it's gonna be me. In the freezer. You know, I had a Rocky style meat. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be all that. It's gonna be nice and whatever. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna like go up to the camera and be like, I'm Linus Udofia, and you're here to watch me beat my meat. but it breaks the ice. It breaks the ice. We're a butchers. You know what I mean? It breaks the ice. Listen, this idea has been fermenting for about 6 months, and they love it. I love it. We just need to film it.
Nice.
We just need to film it.
It's one of my gripes around boxers in general. If you're asking for sponsorship, then the least you can do is be an advocate to that sponsor and tell people why they should use that sponsor for whatever 100%. It is. Whether it's, you know, a butcher's or a scaffolder or whatever, boxers should know a little bit about every sponsor they have and be able to talk fluently enough about what they do and why people should use them. But anyway, I'll go on another half-hour rant if I start that now.
What I'm saying is, like I never appreciated it, I never thought about it. And when you went on a rant, I thought about it and kind of thought to myself, you know what, he's right. And this is why you're taking it personally, because he's right. And you know you don't do it. And that's why you're taking it. That's why you've taken it like this. So you need to start doing it. You need to fix your shit. You know what I mean?
And now I can remember 2 of them off the top of my head and what they do. And then the third one is rung a bell soon as you said it. Anyway, there we go. Right. Keep an eye out, people. Linus Udofia, February, March time, May time. Keep an eye out for the board notices next week. Mate, we wish you all the best. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it as ever.
Thank you for having me.
You take care, sir.